It is the bar.
Young man that has been a Longhorn his whole life. Sam Ehlinger grew up dreaming of wearing this uniform. Now he's the MVP in the Sugar Bowl, celebrating with his mom. Lost his pop back in 2013. What's that line? When you lose your dad young, you spend the rest of your life trying to make him proud. Well done, young man. Well done. Welcome back to SportsCenter. So much more to get to, including a visit with Tom Herman as well as Bad Beats, a career night for an NBA superstar. But first, a team from college football that hadn't lost since 2016 to the Fiesta Bowl. It's UCF and LSU, the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, I'm reminded.
Go Tigers.
Coach O getting ready. Early on, UCF got the ball, went right down the field. They're up 7-3, and then Joe Burrow's picked by Brandon Moore. And keep an eye out for Joey Connors. He absolutely blasts Burrow. Meanwhile, it's a pick six, and it's 14-3 UCF. We'll go back to the hit, and the minute the ball's picked, it's kind of open season on quarterbacks. Connors flexes. Nate Evans gives Burrow the what for. I believe he got the flag for that effort right there. Meanwhile, Coach O is screaming that's targeting. They took a look. It was not. It's 14-3. LSU next drive. What a pass. Justin Jefferson diving, grabbing the end zone. LSU climbs back to within 4, 14-10. Second quarter, LSU now leads 17-14. Burrow finds Terrace Marshall Jr. looking for him. No, but let's come back to the quarterback, and that is targeting. Kyle Gibson ejected after a review.
He is disqualified from the game.
Burrow, meanwhile, showing his toughness and leaking a little bit there. Later in the drive, Burrow keeping the play alive. Finds a wide open man in the end zone. It's Jefferson, who had 4 grabs, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, 10-point lead. Less than 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. Darryl Mack, Dredrick Snelson, and Grant Delpit, who is a fantastic player, is called for targeting. LSU's got players who are sitting out in the secondary, players who are injured, and now they're flat running out of folks that can try to cover the guys going out for passes. They lose Delpit, and that was accurately called, targeting. Mack to Gabriel Davis. Speaking of perfect passes, and this is with 4 seconds on the clock right before halftime. A huge momentum plan. Coach O, what's it with coaches and headsets? We got destruction of property. 24-21. Third quarter. Same score. Nick Brossette. 24 yards up the middle. Tigers would possess the ball. 44 minutes, 31 seconds in the game. That's something that was a key for them. They really wanted to keep it out of the explosive offensive UCF's hands. There's Burrow, Jamar Chase, freshman receiver touchdown grab. Coach O, after the victory.
You all just pulled off what 25 teams before you couldn't. What's the pride in that?
You know what? Hard work by coaching staff, hard work by players. We've had some excellent practices. 11 men on the field, and we fight like Tigers. LSU has a great tradition, coming to big bowls and win them, and we did it.
The offense, it was mainly speed, want to get to the outside. It really wasn't a trench game. So, I don't really, think they could play in the SEC week in and week out with the style of play they play with.
We didn't handle the emotional part of the game as well as we needed to early in the football game, and you combine that with an early turnover when we got things going. We stubbed our toe enough early that we weren't able to change the way the game was played a little bit early in the football game. This program's not accustomed to losing. No one in that locker room has lost in a couple of years. How we handle that today, tonight, in the week before we get back on campus, when we first start our off season, all of those things will speak to who and what we're going to be moving forward. I expect our kids to handle it in a great way.
With more than double the yardage and nearly 3 times the time of possession, the stats paint a more grim picture than the scoreboard at the end of this game for UCF. In a perfect world, UCF would have had Mackenzie Milton at quarterback. LSU wouldn't have had a decimated secondary, and we would have seen exactly what was what in this one. But LSU was going to have the advantage up front on both sides of the ball regardless. At the end of this remarkable 2-year run for UCF, they have shown that they can compete with the big boys when given the opportunity. They battled in this one. They deserve credit for all that they have accomplished. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't grown a little bit weary of UCF Twitter, but that just shows you've arrived. Most big-time programs have some portion of their fans who become insufferable on social media trying to advance your cause, and you do. Now comes the most interesting chapter. The winless season 2015, that's long gone. You've now established an identity as a winner, and you sustain it, and you make it last. Time to do your research on UCF. The Knights suffer their first loss since December 17th, 2016. The 25-game win streak comes to an end. Alabama now owns the longest active win streak in FBS football, which stands at 16. A couple of streaks did remain intact, however. This was the 26th consecutive game during which UCF scored at least 30 points, which is the longest streak in the AP poll era, which is since 1936. And when they had a pick six early in the game, it was the 32nd consecutive game forcing at least one turnover. That's the longest active streak in the nation as well, 14 longer than the next longest streak, which belongs to Indiana at 18, if you are curious.